What's good, YouTube? It's Arion, and today we got another video. Let me see. Yeah, we got another hoop reference video. Y'all, as y'all can see, I posted the East version of this, so now I'm doing the West. Every NBA team biggest issue going into the 2024 season. The season just started. Everybody a game in. Everybody one game in. So yeah, I ain't gonna do too much talking. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like or dislike. Turn on post notifications. Never miss an upload. Send me some stuff to react to. I'm not gonna do too much talking. We're gonna get straight into the video. I got more videos to do. I'm now
this topic, so today
gonna just accept the fact that I like doing reactions. I'm gonna just be a reaction channel and just throw other videos in there when I start doing them.
Every single NBA team identifying and discussing their biggest issue going into the new season. Obviously, some teams have more glaring and serious issues than others.
I got the Warriors for my team in the West and the Bucks for my team in the East. I already was Warriors in Portland, fan. It was just Warriors in Portland. I go wherever Dame goes, so I still like Portland, but
check it out after you watch this one, because in this video, we are now going through the teams in the Western Conference. Before we start, though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel.
If you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe.
Button, as not only
subscribe and turn on post notifications.
But also very much appreciated.
Share the video,
now, with
too.
that being said,
send it to your peoples.
Going in alphabetical order, we'll start with the Dallas Mavericks, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their perimeter defense. Last season, the Mavericks' defense, top to bottom, was an absolute disaster, and it's why they fell off a cliff at the end of the season to end up missing the playoffs. Offensively, they have more than enough firepower, with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving leading the way, and the team even did a good job improving their defense in the front court this summer by bringing in Grant Williams, drafting Derek Lively, and freeing up more minutes for Josh Green and Maxi Kleber. But ultimately, both
nobody worried about the Mavericks this year. Nobody worried about the Mavericks,
so guarding the perimeter may still be a weak spot. Up next is the Denver Nuggets, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their bench. The Nuggets are bringing back all 5 starters from their championship team last year, which puts them in a pretty good spot. But during that run, the team was already running very tiny rotations of just 8 players, and this offseason, 2 of the 3 bench players they trusted in the playoffs left, as Bruce Brown and Jeff Green are gone. In their place, they really
didn't that boss nigga leave? When did he leave?
So the Nuggets are even more thin this upcoming season. Next is the Golden State Warriors, and their biggest issue is that they are lacking in size.
Well, it's been an issue and a strong suit, kind of, though.
Have been able to get away with for years, as they've mastered the small ball lineup at their peak. But nowadays, their lack of size inside has been taken advantage of more and more. Draymond Green plays a lot of center, and Kevon Looney typically starts at the position, but neither of them are taller than 6'9", and then after that, the Warriors don't even have another.
I could go make a layup in their paint, man.
Up next is the Houston Rockets, and their biggest issue is their shooting.
Warriors.
The Rockets last season were ranked dead last in the NBA in three-point shooting. So how did they go about addressing that weakness? Well, they signed Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, both of which were below league average shooters from 3 last season on a high volume of attempts. And don't forget their top 5 pick, Amen Thompson, who has a lot to like about his game, but his one glaring weakness happens to be his three-point shooting. The Rockets are an exciting young group, but their ability to stretch the floor
I think the Rockets gonna get 20 wins
again this season.
Yeah, let me not
Next up is the Los Angeles Clippers, and their biggest issue going into the new year is their ability to stay healthy. It seems like every season we discuss the fact that the Clippers have one of the best rosters on paper, but then by the end of the year, either Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, or both are out of the lineup, and we're wondering what if.
All this just to lose to Dame is crazy.
They definitely rank up there with the best teams in the Western Conference with a very deep roster, but they've lost the ability to be given the benefit of the doubt. Next is the Los Angeles Lakers, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their floor spacing.
Best shooter probably Austin Reeves.
Out of all 16 teams that made the playoffs last year, the Lakers were the 2nd worst team in that group in three-point shooting. They do have guards like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and now Gabe Vincent who confidently shoot the ball, but their wings and big men really can't be relied upon to space the floor consistently, with their rotation filled with streakiness. Plus, if LeBron James is jumping number continues to trend in the wrong direction, it could get worse. Yeah. Up next is the Memphis Grizzlies, and their biggest issue is Ja Morant's suspension. The Grizzlies have been a top 2 team in the Western Conference standings in back-to-back years, but now they have to play nearly 1/3 of their season without star point guard and leader.
Was he suspended for like 28
games?
games?
Most productive threat on offense.
27 games, something like that.
Pace sets the tone for this young and exciting group, so he'll definitely be missed, even with Marcus Smart now being there to fill the gap for the time being. Next is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their Rudy Gobert-Karl Anthony Towns pairing. Trading for
Rudy Gobert, man.
was a questionable move at the time, and last season the results
it depends on what you're looking for.
That our concerns were valid, as the team didn't really take any steps forward. Now, a year later, the team doesn't seem to be planning any drastic changes, so the ability for their 2 centers to fit alongside each other in the lineup remains their biggest issue. Both players are at their best playing the center position, and Towns is not a good enough defender to play power forward full time, so more growing pains are likely on the way. Up next is the New Orleans Pelicans, and their biggest issue is Zion Williamson's health. The Pelicans were one of the least active teams in the whole league this offseason, which tells me that they believe they already have enough to make a run. On paper, I honestly agree with them, and their fast start last season backs up that belief. But they desperately need Zion Williamson on the court for that to be the case, and Williamson has yet to prove that he can be relied upon for a full season, missing about 200 games so far through 4 years.
That's crazy.
Next up is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and their biggest issue going into the new season is that they are now under pressure to live up to the hype. For the last few seasons, the Thunder have entered the year with absolutely
don't got no
zero
problems though, man.
whatsoever.
They got playmakers, they got defenders, they got shot creators,
last season, they were the ultimate underdog, making it all the way to the play-in tournament, despite being projected to be a bottom 5 team. This year, they've been one of the most popular picks by fans and analysts to break out, which means they can no longer play that underdog role. So we'll just have to see if they're actually ready for the spotlight as a young and inexperienced team. Up next is the Phoenix Suns, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their interior defense. DeAndre Ayton was clearly unhappy in Phoenix, so I understand them getting involved in the Damian Lillard trade to send him to Portland, but the fact of the matter is that Jusuf Nurkic is a huge downgrade on both ends of the floor. Defensively, Nurkic was once a solid rim protector, but ever since the injury that he suffered a few years ago that caused him to miss most of the 2020 season, he has been a turnstile on that end, and the rest of the Suns' front court rotation doesn't exactly instill much confidence, holding down the defensive side alongside him. So while this lineup is built to put up a ton of points, they may end up being in a lot of shootouts this year because of their inability to get stops consistently. Next is the Portland Trail Blazers, and their biggest issue going into the new season is figuring out what to do with Jeremy Grant's contract. By now, it's become clear that the Blazers really only re-signed Grant in the first place in order to try to convince Damian Lillard to stay, but that immediately blew up in their face when Lillard asked out a day later and is now in Milwaukee. Jeremy Grant will probably be in tons of trade discussions this season, but being given a fully guaranteed 5-year contract worth $160 million is going to be a tough sell for another team to take on. Up next is the Sacramento Kings, and their biggest issue going into the new year is their defense. Not even specifically perimeter defense or interior defense, just in general, their defense still leaves a lot to be desired. They're a team with a lot of offensive firepower, shooting, playmaking, and movement offensively, but those same players almost all struggle to get a stop when it matters. The Kings were the worst-ranked defensive team amongst the group of 16 teams that made the playoffs last year, and they're running it back with a very similar rotation this year.
With the same team.
Next is the San Antonio Spurs, and their biggest issue is at point guard. The Spurs are a rebuilding team that will have a lot of eyeballs on them as Victor Wembanyama begins his NBA career.
I've been watching the Spurs,
some promising players alongside him like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and Jeremy Sohan, amongst others. But point guard is easily their weakest spot. Trey Jones and Devontae Graham are their options there, making them arguably the worst point guard rotation in the entire league. And finally, the last team is the Utah Jazz, and their biggest issue going into the new season is their playmaking. The Jazz currently have a backcourt rotation of Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Keontae George, Ochai Agbaji, and Talon Horton-Tucker. That's a lot of players that play with a score-first play style, and it's severely lacking in natural floor generals who actually run an offense and try to set their guys up around.
I like Laurie Markkinen.
And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think these teams need to be worried about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
That's it for that, y'all. If you made it to the end of this video, subscribe if you're new. Turn on post notifications, never miss an upload. Leave a like or dislike. Send me some stuff to react to. All my links in the description below. Yeah, I don't got too much to say, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all, any predictions for the season. Season just started. One game in. Everybody one game in. I might start putting my bets. I think I might start showing y'all some of my slips. I don't know. I don't know if I should start doing that, y'all. But I'm not gonna do too much talking. I got one more video to do. Then I gotta watch the game. Yeah, so I'm out, y'all. Be smooth.